Hey friends, it's me Alyssa and I am back with Live and Local Atlanta. I'm here with my incredibly talented friend. He may look familiar, he was on our screens playing football back in the day, and now he's here with something brand new and fresh to spice up the kitchen. I'm here with Reggie Kelly with his new brand, Kyvan Foods. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Oh yay, I love it. Now I have to say, for me, barbecue is an acquired taste. I grew into it. I didn't like it as a kid. I hated it. When I moved here from New Jersey to Georgia, I thought barbecue was just grilling out. I didn't realize there was a whole, I guess, culture or movement behind it, if you will. Down south, you have Texas barbecue, the Carolinas barbecue. I feel like Georgia has their own spin on things. So I'm so excited to talk about some of your products, and what I really loved and what really caught my attention was your Honey Apple Salsa. Can we first start with that?
Yeah, so our Honey Apple Salsa is actually made with golden honey, crisp apples, robust tomatoes, onions, peppers, garlic. Oh my, we call this product our salsa with soul. You can use it on pretty much anything. It would jazz up any meal. Obviously, you can use it as a dip, but it's great on your lasagna, great in spaghetti, great in your baked beans. You can put it on absolutely everything.
I was not expecting to hear the word lasagna in this conversation, so now I'm extra excited to give it a try.
As a matter of fact, I have a salsa lasagna recipe that will blow your socks, knock your socks off.
Wow. Now I'm extra excited. Now I have to talk about one of the things I think is really special about Kyvan Foods is this is kind of a family project that turned into something more, because let's first start with the name. Is a name that you combined with your children's name. Is that right?
Absolutely. My daughter, her name is Kyla. She's 19. My son, his name is Kyvan. He's 17. So we combined the two to come up with Kyvan. So you can credit my wife with that creativity. I wasn't quite as creative to do that.
I completely understand. My husband is an engineer, and he thinks he's creative, and I think he is. He does he invents machines after all, but when it comes to this type of creativity, I definitely am the head of the house for that one. But I love hearing this, how, it's kind of like a big family affair, and you all kind of are all involved in some way, shape, or form. Can we talk about what brought you to the culinary world? Like, what was it about this? You're like, I think I want to step into this game.
Absolutely. When I was a kid, I grew up next door to my grandmother. And my family always told me, baby, when you cook, make sure you do it with love. So I long to pass down to my kids, Kyla and Kyvan, and to everyone, the gift that's been passed down to me, an appreciation of good food. So here at Kyvan Foods, we specialize in innovative and, in most cases, never before seen products. And the kicker is most of our products only use clean, natural ingredients. Most of them are gluten-free, no high fructose corn syrup, MSG-free, non-GMO. And so because we have those type of products, we've been extremely fortunate to come up with some really great flavor combination. Like you said, our honey apple salsa, our grandmother approved honey apple butter that's great on some buttermilk biscuits. But we also have our sweet potato infused products, like our sweet potato vinaigrette salad dressing and a sweet potato barbecue sauce.
I love that. I love that. Can we talk about kind of what struck inspiration for using some of the flavors? Now you talk about they're natural, they're gluten-free, no MSG, all of that. Can we talk about how do you pick the flavor notes? What's the creative process for you when it comes to this stuff?
But when you're greedy like me, you can find any type of inspiration for you to come up with these flavor combinations. But basically, these are recipes that my family have had from generation to generation. And I didn't come from a family of chefs, right? I just came from a family of cooks. And as we like to say down south, we know how to put our foot in it.
Yes.
And so we try to make all of our ingredients, all of our formulas, we try to make sure that they're filled with love so that anybody and everywhere that they are, once they taste our family recipes, they will feel exactly what I felt as a little boy growing up.
I love that. It's a little piece of you that you're giving to the world. Can we talk about, what would you say is your favorite product in your lineup so far?
That's a hard one.
I know you have kids, so it's not quite like picking your kids, but it's almost on the same level.
That is a hard one. But our hero product is our hot and mild honey apple salsa. That's the product that we started the brand with. That's the product that when most people think of Kyvan Foods, they automatically think of those two particular products. Now, we built a really good supporting cast around our hot and mild salsa, but at one point, if I'm not mistaken, salsa was the highest selling condiment in the country or close to the highest selling condiment. And so we wanted to give people just a different flavor of salsa. Normally you hear about the just regular tomato brand salsa, or you may have a pineapple brand salsa, but we wanted to have flavors that included honey. You hardly ever hear anything like that.
Yes.
Apples, in conjunction with those robust and fresh tomatoes and cilantro and peppers and things of that nature. So you get a little bit of sweet and savory at the same time.
I think that's so true. And I can say I'm Puerto Rican, and I feel like Puerto Ricans, we do that. We have savory and sweet all on the same plate. So for me, hearing, again, honey, apple, salsa, or just these other fusions of flavors you're bringing, I'm like, this has got to be so good. And for me especially, I know it was definitely a learning curve when I got married. My husband was like, why are you doing sweet and savory? And I'm like, trust me. Like, it works. It's so good. I have to ask, one of the things I love asking people, especially when they have a business, is what's the timeline from concept to creation when you're coming up with a product or an idea? When does something is an idea in your head? When do people get to actually taste it and eat it?
It just depends on the company. It depends on your business model. It depends on how long it takes, especially when you're in the food and beverage industry. When you're putting a product on the market, you want to make sure that, for us, it represents our family, which means we didn't put any timeline on it. We want to make sure that our manufacturers, our R&D department, that they did a great job of taking our vision to the market so everybody else could enjoy the same thing that I've been enjoying since I was a little kid. But some of the steps that we've taken, again, we had to make sure that we found our hero product, the product that we knew would resonate with consumers. And so we sent this particular product off to focus groups. They made sure that they analyzed our packaging, the actual quality of the product, to make sure that the product did exactly what it said it would do. And then after that, we had to make sure that we found the correct demographic of people that are willing to buy this type of fruit base or tomato base with fruit type of a salsa, right? And once we found out that, then the tough part was how we're going to market to that demographic so that they would actually buy the product, so we get a really good return on our marketing and gain those good customer acquisitions. And so we really didn't put a timetable on it. For us, it took probably somewhere around 6 to 15 months before we got everything finalized, from not only just coming up and making sure our co-packers made the product exactly the way that we wanted, but also having a great marketing strategy. So when we launch the product, we'll hit the ground running.
I love that. That sounds like such an incredible story, just with the care and attentiveness you put into each product. One of the things I really enjoy about, especially talking to you right now, is it seems like you still have that the way an athlete should, just you're very focused on the goal. Can you talk about how some of those skills translated from on the field to off the field and building this brand?
Yeah, when I played, I really did like to watch and analyze great players, great coaches, and what made them great. It wasn't necessarily because they were just athletic. It wasn't necessarily because they had been in the game for quite some time, but the great players, they do the small things really well. And when you think about consistent success, not just random up and down roller coaster type of success, but when you think of success from the standpoint of consistency, those who succeed on a consistent level, they tend to do all the small little minute details that those who fail refuse to do. Oftentimes success is always wrapped up in the small, minute, tedious things that either those who fail miss, or they just don't want to do them at all. And one of my teammates by the name of Terrence Mathis, all-pro, Mr. Atlanta Falcons, all everything. He took me underneath his wings when I was a rookie. As a matter of fact, and he had established himself to be a really good veteran wide receiver in the NFL. And he told me, listen to me, big fella. If you do the little things right, the big things will follow. Now, of course, me coming in as a rookie, I didn't really understand what he was saying and didn't care to understand. I was a rookie. I'm coming in thinking that I had the world within my grasp and that I pretty much knew everything, because that's the reason why the team drafted me, right? But little did I know, I didn't quite grasp and understood the small details of the game, and that was the reason why he came to me in the first place. Little did I know. He could tell that I really wasn't paying much attention to what he was saying, and so he repeated that same thing to me. He said, listen to me now. if you do the little things right, the big things will follow. So I started to look at the small little details of my game, from my footwork to my leverage to my hands to my hand-eye coordination. And once I started focusing on the small things instead of focusing on the big things automatically happen for me. And so I've taken that tidbit of advice in every phase of my life on how I love my wife, how I raise my kids, how I run my business, how I treat people. It's just simple. It's a simple concept. If you do the small things that everybody else don't want to do, there's a great chance that you're going to achieve great success.
That is so cool. I love hearing kind of these stories like this, the background behind things, or a philosophy people follow. I really love that. You know, I have to ask, I'm a little bit nosy. Is there anything else cooking in the kitchen that we can maybe look forward to in the near future?
Sure. You know, we always have something, and our R&D staff, they do a great job of keeping up with what's trending. You know, we want to continue to add some more of our sweet potato infused products. We have some new products as far as like our sweet potato infused seasonings, got a savory chicken, a steak seasoning, and also a dry barbecue rub. You know, you can't be down south if you don't have some type of fish and chicken breading as well, right?
Right.
So we're working on some fish and chicken breading, and also some other items like some cookies as well.
Oh, that sounds fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you talked about the salsa is multi-versatile in that it could be used in a lasagna, and it's more than just a chips and a dip situation. How are some unique ways people have reached out to you and they're like, hey, I love this sauce or this product, but I don't use it for barbecue. I actually use it for a salad dressing, or just to, as chips and dip, or to dunk my fries in. How are people using this in a fun and unconventional way that you love?
It's exactly what you said, because like when you have a barbecue sauce and you hear your consumers, your customers, your fans say, hey, we use it on some roasted vegetables. Obviously, you can dip your French fries in your barbecue sauce as well. But for us, it makes me feel really good when I see people enjoying what I've enjoyed my entire life, right? It makes me feel extremely special when I was a little boy and my grandmother used to make homemade preserves and jelly. And I used to go over her house in the mornings and she would cook, a breakfast from scratch as far as her biscuits. And she would sit down and tell me stories and love on me as a kid. And when I hear our fans and our consumers and our customers talk about how some of our products have taken them back down memory lane.
Oh.
They remember when their grandma used to do the same thing, and when their mother used to cook, and when their family used to always gather for big meals. And it makes for great memories. It makes also for great experiences as well. And so when you hear people, when you hear our consumers and our customers say, hey, we use it this way and that way, I said, feel free to use it any way that you want, as long as it brings great memories back to you.
Oh, that is so awesome. I love that. Reggie, how can people stay in touch with Kyvan Foods, stay in touch with you, and all of that?
Well, you guys can always check us out at Kyvan82 on Instagram, and check out our website to check out our many locations, not only locally, regionally, but also nationally at Kyvan82.com. I'm Reggie Kelly, number 82 on the field, hopefully number 1 in your hearts.
I love it. I love it. This is Live in Local Atlanta. I am your host, Alyssa. Make sure you download the free Odyssey app today. That's AUDACY inside the App Store. Once it's downloaded, favorite Star 94 Atlanta by hitting the heart in the top corner of your screen so you can get notified of exclusive conversations just like this one with my incredible friend, Reggie Kelly. And of course, if you want to stay up to date with me, you can give me a follow across all social media at itsme_Licity. I will see you guys next time.